TikTok family, what's good? I know it's been a minute, but first and foremost, I hope y'all was able to enjoy y'all Mother's Day. Secondly, if you missed me, I'm on YouTube. Like, I've been on YouTube for a little minute now, so y'all tap that link in the bio because I'm posting. I'm locked in on YouTube. This is something that when I first seen it, I was like, I gotta bring it to TikTok and just talk my stuff about why this lady gets so much heat, about what she did to make them people that mad at her. For y'all who not too familiar with Snowfall, I'm gonna give y'all a little breakdown on why she's getting the hate that she rightfully deserves. See that brother right there next to her? That's her son, Franklin Saint. He's a man that's done a lot of bad things, I'm not gonna lie, but he got paid for a lot of those things that he did. He ended up incurring $73 million over the course of 5 seasons. Now this guy up here, that was his former partner, Teddy or Reed Thompson or whatever his name, whatever he decides to go by on a day-to-day basis. After incurring all this money, Franklin's like, I got legitimate businesses. I got a family that's about to come around. I'm trying to step out of the drug game. You understand, right, Teddy? I got a family I got to raise. I'm not trying to keep slinging drugs forever. Teddy says, oh, I get it, but you wouldn't be anywhere without the drugs that I was supplying you to fund this war, which is the real reason why I was even supplying you the drugs in the first place. So I'm going to hold you and take all $73 million. And I'm not going to leave 1 cent in that account just to piss you off. So as we go throughout season 6, Franklin is slowly, he's trying to get his money back. He's trying to be calm as possible to get this bread back in the most mature fashion imaginable. When Teddy's not budging, he ends up having to do some pretty nasty and vile things to get his bread back. So skip forward a few episodes after Franklin ends up taking out his pops and he gets the drop on Teddy. While in his possession, obviously Franklin is trying to get the money out of this man. He even leaves him alone for a whole day to let him think about what he's going to do and how he's going to respond the next time he asks him for his money. Just for Teddy to still play in his face afterward anyway. So while he's getting held up by Franklin, Cissy some way, somehow is allowed to have a conversation with this man, Teddy, about what happened to her husband, Alton. So Alton, Cissy's former husband, Franklin's pops, he was a former Black Panther turned drunk and ended up almost exposing Teddy for being a CIA agent who was providing and implanting drugs essentially in the communities of California and other nations to fund this war. And Teddy couldn't have that bad press on his name, so he ended up killing Alton. Mind you, this is news to everybody. Everybody knew about it. Franklin never brought it up, but even he knew about it. Cissy clearly knew about it. But Teddy, obviously in a compromised situation, decides to tell Cissy, hey, no, he's alive. Like, I have him in X prison in X country and for X amount of time. And yeah, he's been alive this whole time. After this conversation is when things just started to go downhill. So we get to where we are right here in this scene where Franklin is able to get Teddy to a payphone so that he can drop the numbers off so that he can get at least half of his money back. And as Teddy is trying to give the lady the number so that we can make the transfer happen, Cissy goes ahead and asks him what prison Alton's being held in. And so when he gives her the obvious answer of, yeah, he's dead. I shot him 2 times in the chest. Like, get away from me. She goes ahead and kills this man before he's able to get the numbers out so that Franklin can get his half of the money. Now, let me remind you what I said. That's her son. Now, she might not have agreed with the way he was getting his money, but she know that he worked hard and went through a whole lot to get $73 million. She also knew that he was trying to get out the game. For the sake of your son, for the sake of his baby mama, for the sake of his future child, you couldn't wait 10 to 15 more seconds before you decided to empty the clip on this man, Teddy, over some shit you already knew? You would rather hold your son that you know has basically nothing for what? What did you end up getting doing that? What was he supposed to do after you pulled that stunt out there? I'm honestly surprised that he even tried to grab your arm and run away with you. You hold him. And then he visits her in prison to ask, Ma, why did you do that? Like, why did you hold me? She can't even give the man an answer, y'all. She just dubs him every time he goes to see her in prison. Remember, the reason this lady gets as much hate as she does is because she hold her son out of $36 million over shit she already knew at the bottom of her heart was true. I'm not even saying like the get back wasn't warranted. I'm sure Franklin would probably wanted to do that too. But it's just how you went about it. You could have waited for him to get his money back. You talking about this money has done nothing but destroy our family. But he's leaving the game. All of this stuff that's happened to him, he's ready to put it up. We're with him in some of those points in the trenches trying to raise up this money, knowing that it was through illegitimate means. But instead of letting this man that has basically ruined your family's life give the numbers so that your son can get half of that money that he earned doing the work that he was doing, you rather hold him, spend the rest of your life in jail, and have him be miserable out on the street. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments, man. I know I've been ranting for a long enough time. If you made it to this point, I appreciate you. And yeah, tap into my YouTube because I might go and take extended thoughts on this there.